Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's Golem F. Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, let's just dive right on in. We started it off with the match as it was Ricochet going one on one with Happy Corbin. And when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 12 minutes and 20 seconds was Ricochet. Uh, Look, solid outcome, solid start to the show. Good matchup, going all over the place, and yeah, it turned out to be a very good match to say the very least. So really nothing more to say, and I could probably say 3 stars, 3 to 3 and a quarter. So Anthony, it's yours.
100% agree, MF. 3 to 3 and a quarter stars. Solid outing. I mean, both men looked great. Another nice win for Ricochet. The only problem I have is, even as great as this Triple H regime has been, there's still a little lick of McMagma still running around. This was one of them, repetitiveness, and because we've seen this already, we've seen it, but it was still a solid match to say the very least. This was a good 3 to 3 and a quarter star bout, and good action throughout, and nice win for Ricochet. And the big question is, what now? We don't know. So I don't know. So not much more to say. 3 and a quarter. Michael Bullock, Phenom, coming off another one of our legendary Smackdown chats as always. Your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, yeah, 3 and a quarter is my rating. Yeah, it was a good match, and yeah, with this, despite being the new Triple H regime, I still feel like there was a little bit of repetitiveness, and this was it. But I'm not gonna complain that much. When you have a good match like we saw, so I'm actually not gonna complain that much about it. If it was like a series of bad matches with those two, then I would have a bigger problem with it. But I'm not going to make that much a big deal about it. So nothing more to say. It's your Fletch.
All right, and with that said, we do move on. We had a few promo stuff that was after. Then we had Drew McIntyre cutting a promo as it pertains to his matchup against Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. Then we had Karrion Cross, Cross and Scarlett. They cutted something that led to the next matchup of the evening. This was the Fatal Four Way. This was the Fatal Four Way where the winner gets a second opportunity, goes to the semifinal to fight off later in the evening against Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez, and it was Nikki ASH and Doudrop versus Sonya Deville and Natalia versus Dana Brooke and Tamina versus Shotzi and Xia Li. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 3 minutes and 10 seconds is Sonya Deville and Natalia. They advance. They get out of this quote unquote quarterfinal. They're off to the semis. They will fight Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah later tonight for the right to go to the finals, and the winner of that match goes to the finals on Monday Night Raw this Monday night to fight against Dakota and Io Sky to determine the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Anthony Florio,
I'm ready.
Sonya and Natalia advance. It's yours.
Sonya and Natalia advance to the surprise of no one. Based on the way the bracket was set up, I think this was the correct outcome here, considering they were the ones who were defeated by Toxic Attraction a week ago before Gigi Dolan suffered that concussion that unfortunately knocked out Toxic Attraction, which was a damn shame. They had that huge moment a week ago, and then it was all for naught. And now Sonya and Natty reap the reward here. Not much to this match, honestly. They obviously didn't want to overwork whoever came out of this because, double duty. You don't want to tire them out too much. So it was short and sweet and to the point. I'll give it 1 to 1.5 for the effort. I mean, it kind of felt like a ho-hum diva fight a little bit, but at least this was the right outcome. You may not, whether you like Natty or Sonya or you don't, I strongly feel this was the right outcome, and it made the most sense given the way the bracket was. So they got this one right. So 1.5, and we'll see what happens later on. So Michael Bullock, like I said, whether you like Natty and Sonya or you don't, you have to agree with the outcome. Yeah, this was the only logical outcome given the way the bracket was set up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this was the right outcome, and like you said, whether you like Natty and Sonya or you don't, and quite frankly, there are a few out there that don't like them because of their braggadocious attitude, and especially Sonya being when she was trying to be the boss once. But anywho, this was the right call. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't make sense for the other three, any one of those other three, to move on. So, yeah, so 1 star for me. It's yours, Fletch.
I could say 1 star. I totally agree with that. I thought it was fine for what it was worth, but yeah. So there's really nothing more to add there. So we're just gonna come on down to the next part. Um, Again, a lot of promo stuff that we had. We had Sheamus with the Brawling Brutes. Then Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther was also there. And oh boy, well, this was interesting. This is going to be fun. If you thought the Intercontinental title match didn't need any more elements of a Be a Man, this was interesting. This got interesting, to say the very least. So that match is going to be insane. Then we had
Before we move on, MF, there's one thing about that I want to quickly address, because Bullock and I noticed this during our SmackDown chat, and we were very curious as to what you thought about it. When Kaiser was going at it with Butch and Ridge Holland, did you noticed Gunther and Sheamus were in the exact same position? They never broke. You looked at them; they were eye to eye, face to face, nose to nose, a la you.
Yeah.
Is that something?
No, because neither man wants to give an inch. Neither man wants to give the other man an opportunity to jump. So yeah, those two guys were focused on each other, didn't even give a damn about what the hell was going on outside of the ring. Dude, be a man. Do I need to say anything more? No. So, then we had a little thing going on between Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. Obviously, this is actually turning out to be one of the better things on SmackDown right now, with Sami Zayn, being there trying to get the good graces of the Bloodline, mainly Roman, because the Usos is like, you know what? Get out. 86 yourself out. We don't give a damn about you. I don't care. But Roman is starting to come around on Sami Zayn. He's taking a liking to Sami. And the thing is, because Sami's willing to be the lapdog, Sami's willing to put his neck out there, for all the stupid reasons. We don't know how that's going to play out, but it is what it is. All right. Next up, big match, crucial match, semi-final of the Tag Team Women's Tournament. It is Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah versus Sonya Deville and Natalya, the winners of the bout, in roughly 8 minutes, and advancing to the finals to now face Io Sky and Dakota Kai Monday night on Raw for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles are Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. They make it to the finals. Michael Bullock, it's yours. Raquel and Aaliyah, are now one step closer to making history. They're going to the finals, and they're going to be fighting Monday Night on Raw for the gold.
Yeah, what was the time, Fletch?
8 minutes.
Yeah, I'll give it about maybe 2.5. But yeah, what a moment for Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. Now they are one victory away from becoming the women's tag team champions. And think of everything that Aaliyah has gone through to get to this point. I mean, she's been through so much, and now with her partner and Raquel Rodriguez, now she's one step to doing something that she actually never did in NXT. And that was have some kind of gold. But as much as I want to see it happen, I just don't see it happening. I think Dakota and Io are the legitimate favorites, and I think they're the ones who are going to walk out the women's tag team champions and get the first set of gold for Damage Control. So, yeah, I'm already saying it right now. I'm not going to wait till Monday night. I'm saying it right now. So, that's all I'll say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, solid performance more than anything else. Yeah, I agree with your rating. I could give this about maybe 3 stars. I think it could have been something a little more better, but at the end of the day, the outcome was never in doubt. We knew that the one thing we were saying was Aaliyah and Raquel was going to make it to the finals. We knew they were probably going to get there. But the thing was, there was a little bit of some uncertainty because of the fact that we thought maybe Toxic Attraction goes there to the finals. Do they reverse course and maybe give Toxic Attraction the titles? But now that the concussion happened, I think they're going to go with the original storyline, which is Dakota and Io possibly winning it all. Now, I would love to see an upset here of Raquel and Aaliyah winning it all. That would be a total shocker. Nobody would see it coming. And we would have a crowning of the most unlikeliest of pairing of tag team champions. But I think it's going to be Io and Dakota winning it all. And yeah, Damage Control will have some gold heading their way. So whatever the case may be, we will see how it plays out. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Anthony, your thoughts?
If somehow, some way, Raquel and Aaliyah win the titles on Monday night, would you consider that as you and Gorilla would say, an unprecedented crowning, MF?
I would say it would be similar to when the 1-2-3 Kid and Barb Spark Holly won the WWE Tag Team titles at the 1995 Royal Rumble. I think it would be one of those shocking upsets that nobody saw coming.
And if that should happen, I know when we do Ridiculously Raw Monday night, I can hear you now. History made, unprecedented crowning, and yeah, I can't wait to hear that either way. But for right now, this was about 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star for the effort here, and I'll tell you, it was. This is another case where they got the outcome right. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to have 2 heel teams going at it. So they obviously had to go the old school face versus heel route. And yeah, Raquel and Aaliyah are the underdogs, especially Aaliyah. And it's been well documented on our shows over the last couple of years, even going back to when we were doing our NXT recaps. You always heard me, preach about, well, not really preach, but how much that I, was infatuated and how much I love Aaliyah for her beauty and the whole nine, the whole bougie thing. And when she was in NXT, she was a punching bag. I'll admit it. I mean, she was a jobber to the stars. I mean, And Xia Li once broke her nose. Let's not forget that. Xia Li jacked her up real good. We all remember that. And now with this, I mean, the biggest moment of this year was when she defeated Natalia in 3.17 seconds in January of this year. Aaliyah 3.17. That became a shirt. And now a win on Monday night, and Aaliyah is going to have a championship. Wow. That would be something. And unfortunately, though, I'm in the same boat with Bullock. And I told Bullock this during our SmackDown chat tonight. I said to him, hey, as much as I want to see Aaliyah win a championship because of my love affair with her, dating back to NXT, it has to be. It's got to be Dakota and Io. And let's not forget, guys, who's possibly waiting in the weeds for this. The former champions, Sasha Banks and Naomi. Let's not forget that. So they're going to be breathing down the necks of Dakota and Io, and that would be a much more combustible element type of a fight. So with all that, it was a great showcase for Raquel Rodriguez, who looked like a world beater as she absorbed everything her opponents threw at her and still came back to win. Aaliyah being taken out of the match early on was a blow to her credibility, especially when she failed to recover from that one bump to compete in the match again. She and Rodriguez are a solid babyface team and the perfect opponents for Dakota Kai and Io Sky this coming Monday night on Raw in Pittsburgh. The match should be very good and will place the women's tag team championships in the very spotlight that Sasha Banks and Naomi fought for prior to their walkout in May. And speaking of whom, might the former champions make their presence felt on Raw just 5 days before Clash at the Castle? I think it's a very realistic possibility, gentlemen. So one we got to think about. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. As you can see, I'm not on my usual avatar here, but I'm gonna be jumping off for a moment and coming right back in. So, MF and/or Bullock, take it from here.
All right, and with that said, we will indeed move right on along. The next stuff that we did have was basically they did about the continuation of the Drew McIntyre story and everything else. It did lead us to what's going to happen next week on SmackDown as Roman Reigns will be celebrating 2 years as champion. Of course, there will be Ronda Rousey's final judgment. We will finally have our first return, the in-ring debut of Karrion Kross will finally be at ringside. Hit Row will be going up against Mansoor and Mace. That will be a one-on-one match, a tag team match. Ludwig Kaiser going one-on-one with Butch, and the Viking Raiders will be going up against the New Day in a Vikings rule match. And basically, it is anything goes. No rules. I believe the only way you win it is by pinfall or submission. There are no disqualifications, no countouts. Anything goes. Weapons are welcomed in that one. So it leads us to the main event of the evening, as it was Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn one-on-one, and Drew McIntyre wins the match in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Solid main event. I'll probably say this was about maybe three and a quarter stars. Definitely a good main event. Solid action. I enjoyed it. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you. McIntyre wins in 10 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think this was a solid main event here. I'll give it about three and a quarter as well. I mean, yeah, nice win for McIntyre, but unfortunately, Fletch, his victory was short-lived because
Bloodline.
the tribal chief came and the rest of the bloodline. Well, let's just say they beat the living you know what out of Drew McIntyre. I mean, I think this is the way of I mean, you knew I think Roman was going to get some payback after what happened last week when Drew was all over him, and that's why Florio and I had this feeling that Roman was going to get the payback, and that's what happened. And he gets that massive heat on him. So, yeah, I mean, and like you said, next week it's going to mark the he's going to mark 2 years as the champion. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, especially with this being the final SmackDown before Clash at the Castle, so we'll see what develops from that. So nothing more to say, Florio. It's yours. We're talking about the main event: Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn.
Just give Anthony a second. No, just give him a second because maybe his screen is froze. So just give him a second. Nope, he must be having issues. All right, so Bullock, let's go into overall review for SmackDown. Hopefully, we'll get Anthony back momentarily. So Anthony, it's yours. You can lead off. I mean, Bullock, you can lead off on the overall review for SmackDown.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely do that. I thought this was a fine show. I mean, it wasn't the greatest. I mean, I'll give it 6.5 to 7. I mean, I thought it was good enough for it to be passable, but I mean, there are definitely some things that definitely could have been better. But all in all, I enjoyed it. So, all right. So, Fletch, should we?
Well, let's try to get Anthony back. Let's see if we can at least establish some contact with him.
Here.
All right, we do. So good. Anthony, let's talk about the main event. Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn. Drew McIntyre wins in 10 minutes and 20 seconds.
By default, fight of the night, 3 to 3.25 stars for this. Outcome never in doubt. I mean, we all had a feeling that Drew was going to go over here. You want to keep the momentum on. But as I said last week, you remember when Drew laid out Roman. You remember what I said about it. I said either next week or the week after, I felt that Roman was gonna get, that Roman was gonna get the heat back. And what happened? Roman got his heat back, and then some. And that's perfect booking. Absolutely perfect booking. And match was as good as you would expect, given the participants, with a red-hot heel beatdown to wrap things up. Even while relying on the Usos and Sami Zayn to do his dirty work, Roman looked utterly dominant as he choked McIntyre out and sat over his fallen body. The main event of Clash at the Castle is shaping up to be one of the hottest main events in recent memory. And much of that can be attributed to how over Drew McIntyre is right now. He looks like a guy who could very much defeat Roman and end his run atop the WWE mountain. Whether he does remains to be seen, but fans believe he can. We believe he can, which is the key. And next week's celebration of Roman Reigns' 2 years as champion should be interesting and will likely see a vengeful McIntyre make his presence felt. And Michael Cole put over Sami Zayn's performance in Montreal last week, saying Sami Zayn is a hell of an athlete. And Roman said, understand me, the top of the mountain is mine and you won't ever have it until I'm done with it. And then he said, take it from me, please. I want someone to take it from me now, as it faded out. Absolutely perfect. 3.25 stars, by default, the fight of the night, and a great beatdown at the end. I knew Roman would get the heat back. I'm not at all surprised. So with that being said, overall review, and I know Bullock already gave his, so MF.
Did you give yours, or do I have to give
I
mine?
have not given mine, but I'm willing to give you the moment, and then I can wax poetic as I'll set up for a rampage. So it's up to
Um,
you.
you go. You take it, and then I'll follow since Bullock started.
All right, fair enough. The way I feel like this show went, it was more promo heavy, not much on action. Which okay, sometimes it's good to have more action than promos, but I think this time around the promos really carried the night. You know, you had the great thing with Drew McIntyre, at least to rally around him, show the road where he came from to now where he is to possibly become the undisputed Universal Champion at Clash at the Castle. Then you had a great thing between Sheamus and Gunther and that brawl and everything else. And even the brawl, they never took the eyes off each other. You saw the seriousness, the power, and you saw be a man. That's the ultimate thing you saw, and you're thinking, oh my God, these two guys are gonna kill each other in Cardiff, Wales at Clash at the Castle, and I'm for it. I am all for this. So you got that. You have all that breaking out. The women's tag team tournament, yeah, unpredictable, whatever. But look, I cannot wait for Monday night. There will be an unprecedented crowning. History will be made. We will have guaranteed brand new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And maybe we get the surprise of Sasha Banks and Naomi coming back. If they come back, internet's going nuts. You know the net will lose their minds. People will start freaking out. Now the question becomes, where does Sasha and Naomi go? Do they stay on Raw? Or do they come back home where they belong on SmackDown Live? I think that's going to be the biggest question mark. And maybe we got to keep our eyes on the graphic. What does it say? Does it say Raw? Does it say SmackDown? That's going to be very key. So we had that. Let me see. And I was talking about all the stuff that was going down next week on SmackDown. And well, we'll get into that soon enough. But Michael Bullock said 6.5 out of 10. I'll give it that. Yeah, I agree. I think SmackDown could have been a lot better, but I feel like, look, they're still moving in the right direction. There's not a slowdown. There's not anything bad. It's just that when you see Monday Night Raw absolutely killing it, you're feeling like, all right, SmackDown's got to counter this. SmackDown's got to counter this. I kind of feel like SmackDown's going in a different direction. I feel like they're not losing it. They're not like it's not like it's bad. But the thing is that when I kind of am hoping for something more. I think I want to see like SmackDown really hit the ground running. Like when they had that land of opportunity, when Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon was running SmackDown, and when they were a cohesive unit, Anthony Florio, you even admitted it, SmackDown was better than Raw for a long time, especially when Daniel and Shane were running the show.
Boy, what? Why? Oh, boy, were they, man? I mean, and it was very frustrating. But then again, it was under the previous regime. It was under the McMagma regime, and Raw. Those 3-hour shows were hard to watch. There were a lot of campy comedy, bullfunky nonsense,
and that's Go ahead.
And SmackDown was giving us far better matches and far better shows, and yeah, for a while SmackDown did dominate Raw, but but based on the events of this week, what we saw tonight on SmackDown and what we saw on Raw Monday night, I'm sorry to say it, MF, but
Raw easily won this.
Raw wiped the floor with you guys.
Raw easily won this. Like, there's no doubt about it. Hell, Wrestling Forum's own Derek Ferreira called it the Raw of the Year. That's from Derek Ferreira himself. He didn't even go on any rants. And he even openly admitted it. He didn't even go on one rant about Monday Night Raw and called it the Raw of the Year. I think he was on to something, because I think all three of us even were saying it was pretty close to the best Raw. We were giving it 8.5 to 9 out of 10.
Yep.
That's how good this Raw was.
Absolutely.
SmackDown, yeah, it was definitely not great. It was definitely off.
A rare
But
miss.
yeah, exactly. Very rare do they miss. And this was a little bit of normally we would be satisfied with this thing, but this was like a single. This was not even close to anything good. But it's we know SmackDown can be better. But the thing is that maybe we don't have all the cards just yet. Maybe they're holding out because there's some other stuff coming down the pipeline. Look, SmackDown will rebound. It's not a matter of if they're going to rebound, it's when are they going to rebound. And oh, by the way, just to let you guys know, next week's show is a taped episode. They're doing 2 SmackDowns tonight in Detroit. So they're doing 2 shows tonight. They're doing the second episode right now as we speak. No spoilers. We're not going to give it. But just be aware, there are spoilers out there. Be warned.
I've already read them. I think they already finished it.
All right, well. So, nothing more to say there. But we go from there. How does it play out? We'll find out soon enough. 6.5 out of 10. Anthony, final thoughts, and then we'll get into Rampage.
Yeah, 6.5 out of 10. About 6.5. That's the right rating. I mean, I never thought that a Triple H ran show would end up garnering a rating like that. We haven't given a rating like that since the McMahon regime was still in effect. But
I think we've given a couple of regular NXT shows when Triple H was running. I think there was a show or two where we were at the 6th level, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but with how hot WWE has been over the last month.
Oh yeah.
We were expecting for it to be right up there with Raw, but the thing is, too many promo segments. We didn't really have any standout fight of the night wow matches, unlike Raw, where almost every one of them were a wow match, with the exception of one. But yeah, had a couple of solid matches here and there. Some of the promos were good, but too many promos, and it didn't really feel like a live show. This kind of felt like a taped show, to be honest with you. But next week will be a taped show, and by the way, I checked, I looked into it, like I said, and I think they've already filmed it. I think the taping's already done. So the spoilers are out, and I've read them. And I'm not going to share them. Obviously, I'm not. But, well, maybe behind the scenes with you guys, time permitting. But there's one match in particular. From what I read, there's one match in particular that we are really going to have fun with. And you're not going to believe which one it was. So with all that being said, it's a 6 to 6.5 for this. A rare miss from the Triple H regime. But MF, come Monday night in Pittsburgh, I believe there's gonna be a very easy bounce back when you've got Rollins and Riddle face to face, as well as the women's tag team tournament final, Dakota and Io against Raquel and Aaliyah, and of course Kurt Angle. Hello, I mean, I don't think we're gonna be calling for 6.5 on Monday night. Absolutely not. So that's all I'm gonna say. 6.5 for tonight. So with that MF, let's get into Rampage as we continue the road to All Out.
All right, and indeed we're gonna do that. And we started it off with the first match of the evening, as it was Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. They went up against Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Preston Vance, number 10 in the AEW Trios tournament matchup. And the winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 3 seconds joined the Dark Order. The Dark Order pulls off a massive upset, taking down the House of Black in 903. Oh my God. Would I have ever thought this was going to happen? But it did. But boy, did they pay a price for winning that match. House of Black basically went bonkers. Beating the hell. They started beating down the Dark Order until Miro, Darby Allin, and Sting came out to basically break the whole thing up. Just on shock value alone, this is 3 stars. I could say 3.25. Anthony Florio, major shakeup in the tournament as the Dark Order just knocked off the House of Black. Who had that in their bracket?
None of us. Honestly, none of us. With the way the Dark Order's been booked lately, yeah, no, absolutely not. And especially after they lost Anna Jay to the Jericho Appreciation Society. I mean, this was a monumental win for them. This is their biggest win in some time. 3 to 3.25. This was fun and allowed all 6 men to stand out in different ways. But the only downside was I thought it was probably one of the less memorable matches in the tournament, to be honest with you. But we had a major upset, though. But here's the thing, though. Miro caused the distraction, and then House of Black ganged up on him, and then Darby Allin and Sting show up. Gentlemen, I think we're looking at House of Black versus Miro, Darby Allin, and Sting in a 6-man at All Out. And if you do that, look out. That's got potential show stealer written all over it. It really does. And if I know Sting and if we know Sting the way that we know him, don't be surprised if we see Sting, despite the fact that he's, I can't say it enough, 63 years old. Don't be surprised if he does another one of those insane, crazy bumps like he's been doing in his matches lately. So we'll see. So 3.25 for this. Michael Bullock, I mean, it's been a long time since the Dark Order had a win this monumental, but tonight they get it with a little help from Miro, and now next Friday night on Rampage, they will face the Best Friends, and the winners go to the finals of the Trios tournament at All Out to take on the Dynamite bracket winners, which will very likely be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, or it could be Will Ospreay and United Empire, but they get the win here. Big win for Dark Order, and there was something else I was trying to think of here. Oh yeah, Miro, Darby, and Sting against House of Black at All Out. What do you think?
Yeah, sign me up for that. I'm definitely up for that. Miro, Darby Allin, and Sting against the House of Black. That should be something really good. But yeah, I mean, what an upset here. I mean, for the Dark Order to finally get a monumental win that they haven't had in a long time, and now they go to the next round, and the House of Black, well, many people thought were the favorites. They're out now, so because now they got bigger problems on their hands with Miro, Darby Allin, and Sting. So we'll wait and see how it goes. So 3.25 for me. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right. So with that said, we do indeed move right on along. Unfortunately, the next couple of fights that we did have here won't be much to be talked about. Wardlow versus Ryan Nemeth for the TNT title. Wardlow wins in a minute and 29 seconds. Then after that, we have Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ashton Day. Powerhouse Hobbs wins in 59 seconds. Well, the next match we're going to be talking about was a highly anticipated matchup. Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello versus Ortiz and Ruby Soho. Winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 36 seconds was Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello. Anthony, it's yours.
With a little help from the aforementioned Anna Jay.
Yes, indeed.
You mean JAS. Get
Yes,
that
Anna
straight,
Jay,
Florio.
yes. Yep, Anna JAS. Yes, I need to get that right. You're absolutely right. They did a good job. All right. Neither team had control for very long, so the match had a more competitive feel than the two squashes that preceded it. They did a good job they did a good job managing the action between all four individuals, especially during the spots when it was man against woman. Ruby Soho and Ty Mello usually ended up winning those exchanges. Anna Jay interfered behind the refs. Anna JAS interfered behind the ref's back and threw Soho into the steps, paving the way for Guevara to hit Ortiz with his finisher for the win. Ortiz without Santana is weird, but it's also interesting because he's a great talent and it would be fun to see him get a chance at a singles run. Ty Mello is underrated when it comes to selling offense for her opponent. She has a great dazed facial expression after she takes a big hit. The reverse Hurricane Rana from Soho to Guevara was awesome. They both made it look great. And it felt like they rushed through this match a bit. Maybe cutting one of the squashes and giving that time to this bout would have been a better call. But this was another just about 3 3.25. So not much more to say here. Michael Bowles, it's yours.
Yeah, and you better remember, Florio, if you don't call Anna Jay, who she'll probably come find.
Yes, she'll choke me out. I know, but I wouldn't mind it.
I've already seen her do that with some backstage people. So if she's not afraid to do that to them, she probably ain't afraid to do that to you, Florio. So,
and I wouldn't mind it. I would not mind it.
Okay, then. I did not expect that. So
I was about to say something, but Florio, wow, bro, you just caught Bullock and me off guard with that comment.
Pipe bomb.
Oh no. Oh
no. Man.
How do we follow
I don't know
that?
I don't know how in the world I'm gonna follow that comment.
Jumbo might want to have a word with you, Florio. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing more to say. Go ahead, Bullock. Let's hear you.
Yeah. What was the time of the match, Fletch?
Oh boy, hang on. I want to say it was 9:36.
Yeah. I'll give it about 2.5 to 3. I mean, it was a fine match for what it was. I mean, a nice win for Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello, even though right now Sammy Guevara is in a real life heated exchange that we know that's going on behind the scenes with him and Eddie Kingston, which was obviously started by Sammy Guevara. And I can tell you this right now, Fletch, after hearing what I've been hearing this week, Sammy Guevara, I know he's already got heat because of what's going on with him and Ty, but now with this, oh boy.
He's not making any friends, I'll say that much.
I don't think he's going to be making any friends anytime soon. So,
yeah, but I do know one thing for sure, and just to clarify something, Eddie Kingston did go on social media and is basically trying to tell the people, hey, knock it off. That Sammy is getting too much unwanted heat from the fans and knock it off. So so Kingston's coming out in public and telling the fans to cut the crap. So big ups
stop
to
poo-pooing on him.
Yeah, stop poo-pooing on him. Yes.
Yeah, but the problem is, Sammy Guevara has been known to get under people's skin. So yeah, I really don't know. To me, as far as I'm concerned, he's a braggadocious a-hole, as far as I'm concerned. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. With that said, Yeah, I do believe so. I can't deny what happened here. Um, we were thinking it was going to be something more, and it didn't turn out to be that way. So yeah, it was a good solid close to the show. Um, it was fine for what it was worth. I could give this 3 stars. It goes to the main event of the evening, as it was Claudio Castagnoli versus Dustin Rhodes 1-on-1. Claudio Castagnoli wins the match in 12 minutes and 24 seconds. Solid main event. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. I really think it was a very enjoyable match more than anything else. So, Anthony, it is yours. Claudio Castagnoli successfully defends his Ring of Honor World title as he wins it in 12:24 over the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Fight of the night, no doubt about it. This was 3.5 stars. This match had a little bit of everything. They used technical exchanges, fast-paced sequences, strikes, holds, and power moves. Both guys had a chance to hit a lot of the best moves, so even though the outcome was predictable, this bout felt competitive and energetic. The ending came when the champ hit a big uppercut out of nowhere to score the pin. It was a somewhat abrupt finish, but everything else about the match was great. And I talked about Sting being 63 years old. How about Dustin Rhodes is 53 years old and still moves better than some guys who are half his age. That's something. But other than that, man, 3.5 stars. Fight of the night, and great to see two deserving talents in there. A nice showcase for them, and not quite the Shakespearean drama show stealer we were hoping for, but it was still a very good match. So, 3.5 stars. Did Bullock start this, or do I give it to him?
You got to give it to Mike.
All right, Bullock. All right, Bullock, your thoughts.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, this was definitely the fight of the night, hands down. So, yeah, the outcome to me was never in doubt. So, there's nothing more to say. Let's get into our overall thoughts.
Anthony, you lead off.
Yep, I lead off, and it's about 7. I mean, because we had three solid matches. We had a couple of squashes in here. The main event was the fight of the night. And then we had a couple of other solid matches with the mixed tag and the trio tournament match. Yes, we had a couple of dud enhancement squash matches, but it is what it is. Ryan Nemeth, by the way, who Wardlow squashed, that's Dolph Ziggler's brother, by the way, just to let you know in case anybody doesn't know that. But nonetheless, this was about 7 out of 10, and next week it's going to be a big show. It's going to be a live show in Chicago as part of All Out Week. Looking forward to it. So not much more to say here. 7 out of 10. Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. I mean, it was a fine show. I mean, it definitely could have been better, but yeah, next week's show is going to be a live show, and in Chicago, definitely can't wait to see what happens there. So nothing more to say. It's your Fletch.
7 out of 10. I totally agree with you guys at that point. There's really nothing more to add, so we're just gonna close the shop for the night. Next week, guys, is a big week. Like Anthony has said, it's a big week in professional wrestling. We got 3 major shows, pay-per-view quality events coming up from WWE, NXT, and AEW. It's gonna be nuts, guys. So Monday night, Ridiculously Raw, the go home on the Raw end for Clash at the Castle. Then, of course, 205 Live. Well, not 205 Live, NXT Level Up and Impact. That's on Monday night for the Tony's Take on Ridiculously Raw. Wednesday night, we got AEW Dynamite with their go home show. Their show that they're going to be ending it, setting up their pay per view event for All Out. They got something. Of course, we also got NXT 2.0. We got to recap because they have a big show, Worlds Collide. Their go home show for that. Then, of course, Thursday is the kickoff of.
And
Well,
and
actually,
Beth,
no.
let's not forget. As we talked about last night after Sports World last night, in an effort to prevent overloading, because last night's show was just so freaking loaded, and
we will be
had the late
previewing.
start.
We will be previewing
NXT.
the NXT.
Yeah,
So we'll be previewing the
Wednesday.
NXT on Wednesday.
Yep.
So then after that, then of course we got Strictly Sports, College Football Thursday.
TXN Sports World.
TXN Sports World. Yep. So College Football Thursday, that's their jump off. And then we have a Cerebral Smack Talk. We got Smackdown. We got Rampage. We will preview the Clash at the Clash at the Castle preview. Then a special Saturday show. Yeah, you heard me right. Saturday, Clash at the Castle recap, preview of All Out, and then the All Out recap will be next Wednesday night. We will do the NX unless we can do it on Sunday. Maybe we do it Sunday. Keep an eye peeled. We will do the NXT, and
I don't know about Sunday. I mean, because these AEW events usually go.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So we'll figure it out. We might do the AEW. We might do the NXT possibly on Tuesday night or Monday. Recap on Monday. We'll just lose the Tony's take. We'll do the recap on Monday, and along with Raw. And then Wednesday we'll have the All Out recap. We'll just try to do it quick to try to maneuver that around so that we can get everything in. It's a loaded week, guys. It's crazy. Our heads are gonna be spinning, and we're gonna try to get this done as best as we can. So we got nothing more to say. We're out of here. For Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you Monday night for what is undoubtedly going to be one of the wildest weeks here on Talking Wrestling TXN. So get on out of here. Good night. Bye-bye.